Welcome to another edition of Sports Talk with Sub Marted. I'm your host, Sub Marted. I want to, before we start, thank everybody that's listening on YouTube to follow me and just go for the ride. Again, we're going to cover the NBA from this weekend, from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But first, before we start, we're going to discuss this current situation with the WNBA basketball player known as Brittany Griner. If you haven't heard of the weekend, she's been apprehended and held in the country of Russia for the last month or so because her luck, I'm trying to figure out the words to explain it best as possible. Apparently, some canine dogs had sniffed her luggage carry-on bag and ended up finding a cartridge of hash oil inside the baggage. And the Russian authorities had apprehended her and held her in custody, and she's been placed in that custody for the last month or so. And family and friends is reaching out towards her, trying to get her sent home to the United States to return safely. And the reason why she was over there to begin with, to inform you if you don't know, she was playing for the Russian team over there, and she's been playing for them for the last 5 seasons, and also led that Russian team to 5 EuroLeague championships. So basically, she was there to just help supplement her income that she makes from the WNBA, which is six figures. And I believe playing on the Russian team, she makes 1.5 million because the whole thing is the WNBA players do not make the same amount as their counterparts in the NBA. So to get that extra money while waiting for the WNBA season to resume, a lot of the WNBA players play overseas to get the most for their money and also keep that money circulating while they time off, basically. So apparently she was over there playing for the Russian team and was arriving there, didn't get a chance to evacuate because of the situation with the war with Russia and Ukraine. And now she's held there because of hash oil. Every country had different rules. Here in the United States, some states is legal, recreational, and some are not. And every country is different. Hopefully, she get the right legal representation that can help her with this case and help her fight her case and have her rights, and just won't be used as a pawn. Unfortunately, with the U.S.-Russia tensions increasing, with the situations over there, and I'm not going to talk entirely into it. I'm gonna keep it sports related as much as possible. But I just want to shed some light into that situation with Brittany Griner and her family to help keep awareness of what's going on over there overseas. 'Cause I only can imagine if that was myself and her situation being held there over a hash oil cartridge for a vape pen. With all the things that's going on in the world that's serious, being held there against her. But at the same time, I'm old enough to realize that, different countries have different rules and regulations. And sometimes, not knowing these rules and regulations can be a detriment towards you in the future. So moving forward as a learning lesson, I like to say, anybody that's traveled overseas, become well diverse into the laws and customs over there to any particular country you're traveling to. You want to know the lands and the laws of the land, rather, because everywhere is different. As you know, United States have their own sets of rules and regulations compared to even Canada. So catch my drift. You want to just be very informed or the rules and regulations of where you're going to, so you can prevent situations like this here. Unfortunately, Brittany Griner is just a casualty of war, you want to say. And we're praying that she has a safe return back to the United States as soon as possible. But I'm going to go ahead and read a snippet from an article that I was reading earlier with words from her wife. All right, well, let me start from the beginning. Brittany Griner's wife, Sherelle, has thanked everyone for their support of the WNBA star who was arrested last month in Russia. Sherelle Griner posted a picture Sunday on Instagram of her in her Phoenix Mercury Center, stating, "Thank you to everyone who had reached out to me regarding my wife's safe return from Russia. Your prayers and supports are greatly appreciated," she wrote. "I love my wife wholeheartedly, so this message comes during one of the weakest moments of my life. I understand that many of you have grown to love BG over the years and have concerns and want details. Please honor our privacy as we continue to work on getting my wife returned home safely as soon as possible." Again, Brittany Griner was detained at the Moscow airport after Russian authorities said a search of her luggage revealed vape cartridges. They was identified as containing oil derived from cannabis, which could carry a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said Sunday the U.S. will provide assistance to any American citizens being held on foreign soil. There's only so much I can say given to the privacy consideration at this point. Whenever American is detained anywhere in the world, we of course stand ready to provide every possible assistance, and that includes in Russia. You just say we have an we have an embassy team that's working on the case of other Americans who are detained in Russia as well. So more details to come. Again, we're praying for, wishing her the best of luck over there, and hopefully everything gets resolved expeditiously, as T.I. say. So like I was stating earlier, we're going to go ahead and just give you a recap of the games from yesterday across the NBA. All right. Starting off with the Boston Celtics against the Brooklyn Nets. Final score was 126 to 120. Leading scorers for that game was Jason Tatum. He led all scorers with 54 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Kevin Durant had 37 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. As the Boston Celtics defeat the Brooklyn Nets at Boston to gain momentum as their overall record improved to 39 and 27, and the Nets fall to overall 32 and 33. Kyrie also had 19 points, and he was getting booed during the game, if you notice as well. I guess the Boston Celtics fan still has harsh resentments to him leaving the team, and rightfully so. I guess when he got there, he was high-profile free agent, or I believe he got traded there to Boston, and they had high expectations of him actually leading them to a championship. So 2 years passed, and that didn't happen. So I guess the fans still feel some type of way. I don't know if they blame him or I don't know, but fans are fickle like that, especially in the NBA and other sports. But also, the Phoenix Suns lost to Milwaukee Bucks. Final score was 132 to 122. Chris Middleton led all scores with 44 points in that game as well. Leading scorer for the Phoenix Suns was DeAndre Ayton with 30 points and 8 rebounds. Huge game from the big fella, but this wasn't enough to have them beat the Bucks as they fell short. Giannis had, respectfully, a double-double, 19 points, 13 rebounds as well. And Cameron Payne had a great game himself, 23 points and 8 assists, while Drew Holiday had 24 points and 9 assists to help lead the Bucks past the Suns. Again, final score was 132 to 122. As the Bucks improved to 40 and 25, as the Suns are now 51 and 13, which is a great record out in the West. And they're doing this despite missing 2 superstars, Devin Booker and Chris Paul. A lot of people have the Suns coming out the West again this year. Me personally, I don't know, because there's so much talent coming out the West. It's hard to say who's going to do what. But I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open, definitely, to keep status of that and to see who's going to remain a champion at the West, which would be the Suns. But we're going to see who's going to come out the West standing, the final team standing, basically. Some people say LeBron them can still do something. Anything is possible. You know, he is the king, the best player in the league, a lot of people say. So we're going to see. Me personally, I don't think they're going to do anything, but I could be wrong as well. So also, let me ask you this, guys. Yesterday was the season debut of Porzingis, who was traded from Dallas to Washington for Spencer Dinwiddie, and Dinwiddie had 35 points as well Saturday against the Kings as they beat the Kings 114-113 by 1 point, nail-biting game to the end. But so far, the trade is paying off dividends for Dallas with Spencer Dinwiddie fitting into the team, being a nice 1-2 punch for Luka. So now we fast forward into yesterday, and we get to see Porzingis played with his new team, the Washington Wizards. And for the most part, Porzingis looked excellent, scoring 25 points, leading the Wizards past. Again, the Pacers, final score was 133-123. He led the Wizards with 25 points and 5 rebounds. Malcolm Brogdon led the Pacers with 27 points and 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Buddy Hyde had 19 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds. Tyrese Halliburton had 15 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds to have a double-double. So they're coming along. Like I said, they got 2 additional pieces to help gel with Brogdon. All I can see is sky's the limit once they get more playing time together and get a feel for each other's game. But meanwhile, I like what I see is going on in Washington as well. Now they got another premier scorer with Porzingis to go along with Kyle Kuzma and KCP. And whenever Bradley Beal come back, so add more firepower to that Washington team. Porzingis finished again with 25. Kyle Kuzma had 23 with 8 assists. And KCP finished with 19 and 5 assists, respectively. And Ish Smith off the bench had 13. So Washington, they're looking good over there. They improved their overall record to 29 and 34, keeping them in a close race for that 8th final spot and also the play-in game for the playoffs. So they're in the hunt for that. So it might be a good year for the Washington Wizards after they traded Westbrook to the Lakers. And that trade looked like the Wizards won, by the way. Lakers, despite LeBron having an all-world game Saturday, and Westbrook even had 20, by the way. So he played a great game. He's just that I don't think he can shake that Westbrook nickname he earned this season unless he has spectacular playoffs to be determined. We will see. But moving right along, we also had the Utah Jazz defeat the Oklahoma Thunder. The score was 116 to 103. The Thunder lost at home while the Jazz won on the road. Leading scorer for the Jazz was Bogdanovic with 35 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Shea Alexander had 33 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists for the OKC Thunder, respectively. Lead rebounder for the Jazz was no other than Rudy Gobert with 17 and also added 12 points to go along with that. And Donovan Mitchell had 10 assists and 24 points to lead the Utah Jazz over the OKC Thunder. The Jazz improved to 40 and 23 overall as the Thunder fall to 20 and 44. Been a rough season for the Thunder with young teams growing pains. Also moving forward, the Rockets beat the Grizzlies, which is another young team, had a great victory over a great Memphis Grizzlies team. Desmond Bane led the Grizzlies with 28 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Steven Adams chipped in with 12 rebounds, 23 points. The leading scorer for the Rockets was Kevin Porter Jr., who had 29 points and 5 assists, while Christian Woods had 28 points and 13 rebounds. Double-double night for C. Woods. Can't beat that. As the Rockets is another young team that's coming together with the chemistry with Green, Wood, and Porter. So wins are very scarce, but they improved now to 16 and 48, while the Grizzlies finished 44 and 22. Still a factor in the West. Can't sleep on them. Ja Morant had a bad scoring game. He had 20 points, but he was shooting 7 to 20 from the field. So he struggled a little bit last night, but he's going to bounce back like his springs on the court with a slam dunk game coming soon. So I wouldn't keep him out of the race. Not at all. I mean, he's a prolific scorer. A lot of people say he may be an MVP candidate this year. And I can definitely see how he leading his team. Since he got there, each season, the Grizzlies have gotten better, and better. Now they just, Ja Morant, that is a household name. And to be that small on the court and to be that explosive is just, wow, amazing. You don't see short guys with the springs like that, but he's one of the exceptions to the rules. And every time I see him, I just see excitement. Every game he plays with a tenacity that's unmatched by no other, especially nowadays. You can see where he has a love for the game. But moving right along, the Cavaliers defeat the Toronto Raptors as the Raptors lost 3 in a row. Final score was 104-96. Leading scorer in that game for the Raptors was Pascal Siakam with 24 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And for the Cavaliers, Lauri Markkanen had 22 points, 12 rebounds. Scotty Barnes is another exciting rookie for Toronto. He finished with 19 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. And Evan Mosley, this is another rookie that I discussed as well for the Cavaliers. He's having an awesome season. He finished the game with 20 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 assists, while Darius Garland had 17 points, 10 assists to have a double-double that night. And Garland was playing excellent basketball, leading the Cavaliers team, who didn't have a starting point guard at the beginning of the season, was Sexton. Now the Cavaliers' overall record is 37-27, while Toronto is now 34-30. Which is amazing. And also, in this overtime game, I'm about to explain and bring up to you. I had watched them again in the end. Say what you want about New Orleans Pelicans, you cannot sleep on that team. Since the addition to C.J. McCollum, that's been a whole different team. McCollum and Ingram is a nice 1-2 punch. And just think, when Zion come back into the fold, maybe next year, I'm looking, that's going to be a scary team, a force to be working with. And now they having role players that's understanding their role and they gelling in their role and they playing to the strengths of Ingram and McCollum. Hey, this game could have easily been New Orleans, but home court advantage in the end was just too much for the Denver Nuggets. And Joker was playing all world. He finished with 46 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, a triple-double. The leading scorer for the Pelicans was Brandon Ingram. He had 38 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. C.J. McCollum finished with 24 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds, respectively. The Pelicans now are now 27-37 despite the slow start. They start picking momentum. And then on the bubble for the playing game for the playoffs so far in the West, as the Nuggets improved to 38-26 with the victory last night over the Pelicans. Also, last game to talk about was the game that I was shocked. The New York Knicks defeat the LA Clippers 116-93. The leading scorer for the Knicks was R.J. Barrett, who had 24 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Amir Coffey had 16 points, 3 assists for the Clippers. Leading rebounder for the Knicks was Mitchell Robinson with 12 points, 11 rebounds, a double-double. Zubac chipped in for 9 rebounds. Emmanuel quickly had 6 assists, 10 rebounds, 21 points to help lead the Knicks over the Clippers. Final score 116-93. Clippers are now 34-32 without their 2 major stars, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Just think if they was in the fold, the Clippers would be top seed out there. The team is playing remarkable without their 2 stars. So give it up to Tyronn Lue and his coaching ability to keep the team in sync and gel and playing over 500 basketball. The Knicks, on the other hand, is disappointed this year. I thought they would be a playoff team with the success they had last year. I guess it was just fool's goals. But now they improved to 26-38, 12 games under 500. They got enough time to hopefully get on the winning streak, let this game here start a momentum. Hopefully, Randall is okay. I know they was questioning his physique in New York over the recent weeks, saying that he's getting into with players and fans, and just wondering how his overall mental health is going. So keep an eye on him as the weeks progress, as the Knicks get closer to the end of the season. Hopefully they can make the playoffs. But it looks like they're a long shot right now. And I wonder if Randall is going to even be there next year. That's my speculation. I heard rumors that his time in New York may be running to an end, unfortunately, because he's a great player. Definitely a presence on the court, inside, outside, improved his game since being drafted to the Lakers and been traveling, a few teams. But I thought he found a home in New York, but I guess I was wrong. But we will see. New York fans are hard to please at times, and they want the best. And that organization has been struggling so long. So the fans are just getting weary. So can't blame them totally. Some say it's the owner, but I don't know because I'm not a Knicks fan. So I can't tell you that. But from the outside looking in, something is definitely not right with the Knicks organization overall. So I finished 4-2 in my predictions. So far, my total since I've been starting my YouTube sports talk channel, I am respectfully 15-5. I would take that all day moving forward. Again, if you need to get any FanDuel sports tips, talk to me. I'm here for you. So I'm Ted, and I give you my expertise, opinion, and selections, especially with college madness around the corner. To fill out them brackets, just listen to some of Ted, and I will give you the winners that you need to win. One shining moment, just like the NCAA championship game. And I got a hunch that being that it is Coach K last season as the coach of the Duke Blue Devils, what only way to go out with a bang is to win the national championship this season. Wouldn't that be unbelievable if Coach K can pull that out? Mike Krzyzewski, one of the greatest coaches of all times, Olympic coach at that. So his resume is impeccable. I think that'd be one of the missing pieces to complete his career. Not to say he haven't won an NCAA championship, to win it going out would be trend setting like no other, with the cigar lit at the victory lap. So before we leave, let me give you the predictions for tonight NBA action as I recite who's playing tonight. We have 6 games coming up for Monday. Not bad. Tipping off at 7 p.m., we have the Pistons going against the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks coming in with the record 31 and 32, while the Pistons are 17 and 47 playing at home. The winners of 5 of the last 7, looking like a improved team coming off the All-Star break. So in this one, I'm going to go with the Pistons since they're playing at home and they're playing hot basketball. Again, the winners of the last 5 out of 7. So give me the Pistons on that one. Next game, also at 7, we have the Philadelphia 76ers against the Chicago Bulls. The 76ers are at home. 76ers record is 39 and 24, and the Bulls are 39 and 25. So as you see, both records are pretty close in standings. So this game here can give Philadelphia some breathing room to move up in the standings, or to give Chicago Bulls some breathing room in the standings as well. So a lot of stake is on the line. A lot is on stake on this game. But I'm going to go with the Bulls over the 76ers tonight with the upset. The Miami Heat host the Houston Rockets, tipping off at 7:30. Heat's record as of now is 43 and 22, while the Rockets is a young team coming off a victory over the Grizzlies, improved to 16 and 48. I'm going to take the Miami Heat in this game by a long shot. Also, we have the Timberwolves playing against the Trailblazers at 8. Timberwolves coming in with a record 36 and 29, while the Trailblazers are 25 and 38 under first-year head coach Chauncey Big Shot Billups, as they look like to be rebuilding around Simon, a exciting player. And also you have the Dallas Mavericks playing the Utah Jazz, tipping off at 8:30. The Mavericks coming in with a record of 39 and 25 versus the Jazz record 40 and 23. I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks in this one at home. And saving the best for last, the final game of tonight is the San Antonio Spurs hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers coming in off a great victory over the Golden State Warriors. Record is 28-35. Looking to improve and gain momentum as they continue to strive and make a push for their playoff position. Going against the Spurs, who are 24 and 40, who are a young team. And Coach Popovich looking for one victory to move up in the coaching total of wins. So a lot is on line of state for both teams. Even though you figure Spurs is not really in playoff contention, they're trying to get that extra win for Coach Pop to move up in the coachless, and LeBron trying to have back-to-back victories. And like I said, he won against the Golden State Warriors Saturday at home, so he's trying to win again Monday to have 2 wins into the column, and again that gain that momentum, get the team in sync to make that final playoff push. Again, the playoffs is around the corner. Today is March 7th. Before you know it, April 1st is here, and we in the playoff season. Just like that. So every game count here on out. So those are my predictions. Again, we're going to follow up later on after the games go off. You're going to see my insight of the games, the highlights, the pros and cons, and get your feedback as well as we continue to give you sports talk by Sub Mouth Ted, brought to you by the good people of YouTube. And I want to thank everybody that took time out to listen and to follow. So go ahead and click like, subscribe, and even share if you enjoyed this segment of Sports Talk with your host, the most, Sub Mouth Ted, as we continue to gain momentum and build and have more content of sports for you each and every day with no problem. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, and God bless.